Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, dude? So, yeah, to circle back around. So from here on out, the rest of the season, you can only watch the first half of the Colts games.
That's
you got
fine.
to turn off.
Sorry, dude.
It's
That's
is
early
what it
days.
is. Whatever it takes to get the Colts to Super Bowl. You
That's
know?
Oh my God, Aaron Donald stretching.
So
This dude's a
at
fucking mammal.
the beginning of every show here, we run the Emerge and BICBP Radio Network clip.
Yes, we do.
Now we're finally putting a voice, or rather a face to the voice of Oz.
Yes.
How did you get involved with the network, man?
Oh man, it's a fun story. So I had been hoping to start a podcast at some point. Talked about doing a local high school wrestling one, which I eventually did. I was talking about considering football and whatnot, but we were actually, me and a friend, Christian Ham, who has his own media network now, the Push Start Media Network. We were doing a live show every Wednesday for a Facebook group called Gameheads United, run by another shout out here for BJ Smith. He runs it and does a really good job. But we were just trying to turn it into a podcast. Like, we do a show where we just chat about stuff, we do giveaways and whatnot. We want to really hone it into a podcast. We just didn't know where to start, which is a lot. It's a big issue with a lot of people. He happened to go to Nickel City Con in 2018 and met with the network that we're all part of today. Chris Chavez, Anthony Mullen, they were there. Those are the guys who started the network, and they were running a table at Nickel City Con, and they pulled them over. One of them was doing a Power Ranger show, and they interviewed him about some Power Ranger stuff. They exchanged information afterwards, and we met, and they're just like, hey, just, if you want to be a part, this is what you got, and this is what you need, and you could start. And I dived headfirst into it, man. I've had so many different podcasts over the last 4 or 5 years. Anything I've been interested in, I've been able to just kind of create and put it out there, which has been nice. So it's a very cool art form, like podcasting. I wasn't much like a social dude. Like, I hate talking to people. But I could.
The funniest thing is podcasts. You got to talk to people.
Yeah, ironic. I think the big thing for me was I hated talking football on social media because I didn't feel like I can articulate myself well, and I couldn't have good conversations with people, right? Because people are just dicks, especially on social media. You're wrong, and yada yada.
Well, you don't got to tell us twice. I mean, we see it every week with our comments section, man. These people could be ruthless.
It's bad, and that's kind of why I've cut back a lot. I can't take it, but because we were doing really good. We had the Facebook page up and running, doing really good. We had it up to like 26,000 people liking it, following it, and it just got to be too much. Like, everything you do, it's just overly I'm just like, I don't need this shit anymore. So I've cut back considerably. I'm slowing down a little bit with it, but I'm still running the show essentially, if you call it that.
Showrunner.
We're trying.
All right.
I'm trying.
That's amazing. And then we're like super thankful that you got established with them too, because I mean, without the network, who knows where we're at.
That's and like I said, I'm glad you guys are part of it. You could have been anywhere, right? Did you had a show before? Did you not? Did you have a show before? I thought it was you.
There's a good chance.
Is that a yes or no?
He's keeping it low.
So we did have Tank. I did have Tank Talk.
That's what yes.
Years ago, I think Dylan was on the first episode. I think 2017. So I had 2 USB microphones, this laptop, and then just a Canon DSLR setup.
Yeah.
We literally talk about whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I was on there.
Yeah, Donnie was on there too. Look at us now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally in my mom's dining room, set up the curtain in the back, whatever, make it look like we're somewhere else. But yeah, that's where we started. It kind of fell off a little bit just because I didn't know what direction I wanted to take it to.
Right.
And then kind of felt bad. My mom, I got to have people in the dining room every week, so kind of just fell off. But then
that's why we got a studio.
Yeah,
it was just a little much.
And then going into COVID quarantine, whatever. I tried running it back myself, and it was just awkward talking sports to myself.
Yes.
essentially.
Doing
so,
solo podcasts is very difficult.
Yeah.
It is quite the challenge.
very, very awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like 2 episodes and I was like, oh, fuck it, whatever. But then, Merge was starting to emerge. Moranto was putting stuff out there. I can't remember if I reached out to him, he reached out to me, but one thing led to another. Then we had our meeting here.
Yes.
I actually had a plan to name it something I couldn't remember. It had something to do along the lines of like sports dudes, whatever, inspired by the Pat Mac show, whatever. And then you told me, you're like, dude, just stick to your brand. Like, you already had this thing started. I'm like, so that's a good point. So here we are.
Tank Talk, Tank Dell, Tank Bigsby.
It worked out good, and I'm glad you stuck with it because again, that is your brand, Tank Productions, and for as long as I've known you or seen you popping up on Twitter and social media, it's been Tank this, Tank that. So I'm glad you ended up keeping it. It's a sweet name. But yeah, like I'm glad because like we don't like charge anything to be a part of our network because we just want people at home to do this kind of thing. Again, I remember how like just lost I was when I wanted to start a show. I didn't know what to do. What do I buy? What program do I use? Where do I upload to? It can be overwhelming for some people, and that's kind of been our thing. Is we just want to help people get like their foot in the door. And some people have stuck with it. Some people have stuck with us. Some people have branched off and done their own thing, and that's cool. But we're happy to kind of give those newbies, newbies or whomever, veterans, just a spot where they can place their show and not have to worry about it.
Let it grow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really amazing to see how far, like, not even just us have came, but, like, Emerge as a whole, all these shows coming on the network,
proud.
Man.
Like, it's really cool, man. Moranto's done a hell of a job with this place. It's awkward because he's sitting there, and I'm trying not to make eye contact, but, he was my media production.
You can look at him, man. It's all right.
I don't want to. I'll start crying or something.
You get emotional. Oh, there he is.
No,
I love you guys, man.